For the next few weeks, we'll be working on reading comprehension. Now, what does that mean? It's one thing to be able to read words from a story, but it's another to understand what's going on. So this week we're going to learn about how we can answer questions about stories so that we not only read the words, but we know what's happening in the story. For example, we're going to use a worksheet just like what the ones you'll be working on this week. But this one's about apple picking. So let's go ahead and read the story and then we'll answer questions about it. Apple picking. My family and I went apple picking. We picked two big barrels of red apples. It was fun. Hey, where did that worm come from? So we'll look at the first question. Where did the family go? That question's pretty easy right off the bat to say, okay, they went apple picking. So we'll go to the next one. How many barrels of apples did they pick? I don't really remember. So if you're trying to answer a question, it's okay to go back and reread. My family and I went apple picking. We picked two barrels of red apples. Now we have the answer. They picked two barrels. Finally, we look at this question. What was in one of the barrels? Sometimes questions can be tricky because it might not say outright what happened. You might have to use prior knowledge or clues from the text to find out the answer. So we'll read on. We picked two barrels of apples. It was fun. Hey, where did that worm come from? Now, the answer to what was in the barrels is definitely a worm, but it doesn't say that outright in the story. But we can make the connections. We know that there were barrels of apples. We know maybe from reading another story before, what we just have learned maybe on TV, worms love apples. And we know reading the story that they found a worm. So that's how we can make the connection that the worm was in the barrel of apples by piecing all of these together. It's kind of like a detective. So this week we're using a small story and we'll be able to answer simple questions about it. In the following weeks, maybe those stories will be a little longer and the questions will be a little harder, but we're going to start with this from now. So keep all of these things in mind that you might know the answer off bat. You might have to go back and reread to answer a question, and you might have to make some connections about a story, even if it doesn't say outright what it's about, what happened.